welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Gina and I talk about books. Today I just wanted to talk about my TBR for two readathons. The Queer Lit Readathon, which goes from November 29th through December 5th, and the Bias Breaker Readathon, which goes from December 4th through the 20th, I believe. There are a ton of hosts for these two readathons, definitely more for the Bias Breaker Readathon. There's like teams of 3 and each team has 3 hosts. So I will leave all of the hosts links in the description below so you can watch their announcement videos and get all the details for both of these readathons. For the Queer Lit Readathon, the first book I'm reading is The Summer of Everything by Julian Winters. I'll be honest, I don't know much about any of these books, but I either got recommendations from their channels or other subscribers' channels, or I literally just scoured Goodreads lists for clue words. But The Summer of Everything is actually the group book that they chose. It is YA contemporary. Yeah, and it's queer. I believe it's like a coming of age or approaching adulthood story. It fits the BIPOC main character. It fits the non-coming out story, own voices, as well as the queer friends prompt. The next book on the TBR, the next book on my Queer Lit TBR is Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. I'm really excited for this one. It's actually been on my radar for a while. I've read at least 2 of her books. Well, listened to. Her books are usually, well, at least the ones I read, I believe, were in verse. And she was the narrator for her audiobooks. And normally audiobooks aren't my thing. It's hard to focus, but listening to her read her own words, and it was beautiful and fantastic, and probably did so much more justice than I could ever have done. So I'm really excited for Clap When You Land. This is also a YA contemporary. This is, I know about 2 half-sisters that don't know each other exist, and when their dad passes away, they find out about each other. So they're dealing with the grief as well as this discovery, but one lives in New York and the other lives in the Dominican Republic. This one fits the prompts for host rec, background romance, and the see yourself prompt, because both of these girls, I believe, are mixed, and I'm assuming at least one of them is queer. So. But I mean, I would hope so. It was on, yeah, it was a host rec. So the next book I'm reading is called Once and Future Queen, Volume 1. This one, it's by Adam P. Nave. This one will fit the prompt for graphic novel as well as retelling. And this one I believe I found either on one of Kathy Treithart, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, honestly, on one of the playlists that she has, or the videos that she had. Otherwise it was a Goodreads list. I don't remember. But this one is an King Arthur retelling about a chess prodigy who pulls the sword of Excalibur and then has to fight an invasion of Fae. I'm here for it. The next book on my TBR is Winterborn's Daughter by Stephanie Rabig. This one, trying to find a queer story that gave me winter vibes. I don't know why it was so difficult, but it was. And I don't know, the ones that the hosts had in their TBRs just didn't really do it for me. I'm very worried about this story though. Maybe it'll be fantastic. Hopefully it'll be fantastic. It's just a really big unknown. There were only like 18 ratings on Goodreads for this book. So we'll see. This one is a fantasy. I don't know if it was young adult or adult. But this one fits the winter vibes prompt and hopefully the pre or non-medical transition prompt. Sorry, words. It sounded like that might be the case. I feel like, if I remember correctly, in the blurb that I read, it said something about a character, or this country doesn't have that ability to transition. But we'll find out, and I will let you know. It does have a diverse cast apparently, and it's a Snow White retelling. And I love all my princess stories, Disney. But, so this should be interesting. The next book that I'm reading for the Queer Lit Readathon is No Man of Woman Born. I don't know, what trips me up every time. This one is by, sorry, my dog, by Anna Mardal. This one fits the prompts, the ACE or ARROW prompt, the Not Like Me prompt, as well as the Create Your Own. And I'm honestly not even short stories. There we go. This one is a collection of short stories, fantasy retellings, all featuring trans and non-binary characters. And I believe it said something about subverting gender norms or something. So I'm sure it'll be fantastic. The last book, right? Yeah, the last book that I'm reading for the Queer Lit Readathon is How We Fight for Our Lives by Saeed Jones. This one is a memoir about being a gay black man in the South. And I recently read All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson, and that was fantastic. This one also has some really great reviews, so I am very excited for it. And this one fits the prompt for an adult or nonfiction book. That is, how many books is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 books in 7 days. I can do this. I'm a little worried about the nonfiction book, but hopefully it super flows. And because it's a memoir, it won't take me as long as most nonfictions. But we'll see. Okay, so my TBR for the Bias Breaker Readathon is shorter, and I have more time to read it, but I digress. So this one is, I'm on the team Interstellar Spy, and you kind of like follow a map, and the prompts, a couple of them are prompts that all the teams do. Like the first one is read the group book or share your TBR. So I guess I'm doing both. Because I do plan on reading the group book, which is called Earthlings by Sayaka Murata. I apologize if I said that incorrectly. This one apparently does have Ace Rep in it. but it's about two friends, Natsuki and Yu. Y-U-U. Tell me if I'm pronouncing that wrong, please. And the blurb specifically said that Natsuki is not like other girls. She could be a witch or she might be an alien. So I'm interested to find out why they don't know whether she's a witch or an alien. But they make a promise, because for some reason they get separated, to survive no matter what. And then they come back later in life because something is happening and Natsuki needs to make sure Yu keeps the promise. This sounds like it could be a really weird book, and I'm kind of excited about it, so we'll see. The next book that I'm reading for the Bias Breaker Readathon is Shadows Cast by Stars by Catherine Knutson, maybe. This one is a YA fantasy dystopian about a girl. Apparently there's a plague happening, and the only cure or protection for the plague comes from the blood of Aboriginals. It's fucked up, but I believe it is own voices. I'll double check that, but I'm pretty sure it is own voices. But the girl is both a seer and a healer and has to survive and make sure herself and her family are safe. There's two more. I'm also the No Man of Women Born by Anna Mardal. I'm also reading that for the Bias Breaker Readathon. I forgot the prompt for this. Oh, The Shadows Cast by Stars fits the Indigenous main character or author prompt for Bias Breaker, and the No Man of Woman Born fits the non-binary / genderqueer / gender fluid main character or author. And then the last book that I'm reading for the Bias Breaker Readathon is the Summer Book by Tove Jansson. Yeah, I think I'm saying that right. This one is for the prompt, a book about or from, I forget, about a country that I know nothing about. This one is, the Summer Book is a short story from a Finnish author, and it takes place in a small island off the coast of Finland. It's about an elderly artist and her 6-year-old granddaughter who summer on this island. So I'm hoping it'll be super cute. And it's a short book, so it's perfect for a readathon, even though I have like 2 weeks for this readathon and only 4 books. But I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to... whatever. So yeah, that is it. That is my TBR for both the Queer Lit Readathon and the Bias Breaker Readathon. If you're participating in either of those, let me know in the comments what you're reading, as well as if you've read any of these books that I mentioned. I'm curious to see what you thought of it. If you're one of the 18 people that rated Winterborn's Daughter, please tell me. That would be amazing. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, please hit the subscribe button. like the video, comment below, and I will be back probably with more Readathon TBRs, for sure. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving and have a wonderful weekend.